Hey Lions, this is Mrs. Newman. I wanted to read another book with you today. Hopefully you can still see everything. I'm sitting outside, so it looks a little dark on my end, but hopefully you'll be able to see everything okay. I wanted to honor Mr. Tommy DePaulo. He is an amazing author, and he is for sure one of my favorites. This is one of my favorite books, Strega Nona. I hope you all enjoy. Look how beautiful these illustrations are. This book was a Caldecott Medal book, so that means that it received an award for its illustrations. And look at that. Just looks so pretty. Look at the doves down there on the bottom. In a town in Calabria a long time ago, there lived an old lady everyone called Strega Nona, which meant Grandma Witch. Although all the people in town talked about her in whispers, they all went to see her if they had troubles. Even the priests and sisters of the convent went because Strega Nona did have a magic touch. She could cure a headache with oil and water and a hairpin. She made special potions for the girls who wanted husbands. And she was very, very good at getting rid of warts. So you can see she was lined up. Guy came in with a headache. He's like, yes, I'm great. The ladies are drinking a potion and now she has a husband. And then he has a big wart and she magically got rid of it. But Strega Nona was getting old and she needed someone to help her keep her little house and garden. So she put up a sign in the town square. See right there? And Big Anthony, who didn't pay attention, went to see her. Anthony, said Strega Nona, you must sweep the house. You must sweep the house and wash the dishes. You must weed the garden and pick the vegetables. You must feed the goat and milk her, and you must fetch water. For this I will give you 3 coins a week, a place to sleep, and food to eat. Oh, grazie, said Big Anthony. The one thing you must never do, said Strega Nona, is touch the pasta pot. It is very valuable, and I don't let anyone touch it. Oh, see, yes, said Big Anthony. And so the days went by. Big Anthony did his work, and Strega Nona met with the people who came to see her for headaches and husbands and warts. Big Anthony had a nice bed to sleep in, the goat next to the shed, and had food to eat. One evening, when Big Anthony was milking the goat, he heard Strega Nona singing. Peeking in the window, he saw Strega Nona standing over the pasta pot. So there she is telling him what he has to do. And there's her pasta pot. And he's sweeping. And he hears her singing. I wonder what she's singing. She sang, bubble, bubble, pasta pot. Boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry and it's time to sup. Boil enough pasta to fill me up. And the pasta pot bubbled and boiled and was suddenly filled with steaming hot pasta. Who likes pasta? I love me some pasta. Some spaghetti and meatballs? Yes, please. Once it was filled, then Strega Nona sang again. Enough, enough, pasta pot. I have my pasta nice and hot, so simmer down, my pot of clay, until I'm hungry another day. How wonderful, said Big Anthony. That's a magic pot for sure. And Strega Nona called Big Anthony for supper. But too bad for Big Anthony, because he didn't get to see Miss Strega Nona blow 3 kisses to the magic pasta pot. And this is what happened. The next day, when Big Anthony went to town to fetch water, he told everybody about the pasta pot. And naturally, everybody laughed at him because it sounded so silly. A pot that cooked all by itself? You'd better go and confess to the priest, Big Anthony, they said. Such a lie. And Big Anthony was angry, and that wasn't a very good thing to be. I'll show him, he said to himself. Someday I will get the pasta pot and make it cook, and then they'll be sorry. I think Big Anthony needs Miss Doyle and Miss Morales's calming circle or their hot chocolate breaths. What do you guys think? They might need to, Big Anthony might need to watch those videos. That day came soon enough than Big Anthony ever could have thought, because 2 days later, Strega Nona said to Big Anthony, Anthony, I must go over the mountain to the next town to see my friend Strega Amelia. Sweep the house and weed the garden. Feed the goat and milk her. And for your lunch, there's some bread and cheese in the cupboard. And remember, don't touch my pasta pot. Oh, yes, 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 see, Strega Nona, said Big Anthony. But instead, he was thinking, this is my chance. As soon as Strega Nona was out of sight, Big Anthony went inside, pulled the pasta pot off the shelf, and put it on the floor. Now let's see if I can remember those words, said Big Anthony. And so he sang, bubble, bubble, pasta pot, boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry and it's time to sup, boil enough to fill me up. And sure enough, the pot bubbled and boiled and began to fill with pasta. Boiling right there, see the steam coming off of it? Aha, said Big Anthony, and he ran to the town square, jumped on the fountain, and shouted, everyone get forks and plates and platters and bowls, pasta for all at Strega Nona's house. Big Anthony had made the magic pasta pot work. Of course, everyone laughed at him, but they ran home, got forks, plates, and platters and bowls, and sure enough, when they got to Strega Nona's house, the pasta pot was so full it was beginning to overflow. See it right there? Big Anthony was a hero. He scooped out pasta and filled the plates and platters and bowls. There was more than enough for all of the townspeople, including the priest and the sisters from the convent. And some people came back for 2 and 3 helpings, but the pot was never empty. Look, he fed all those people, and there's still a whole bunch of pasta in there. When all had had their fill, Big Anthony said, enough, enough, my pasta pot. I have my pasta nice and hot, so simmer down my pot of clay until I'm hungry another day. But alas, he did not blow those 3 kisses. He went outside, and to the applause of the crowd, Big Anthony took a bow. He was so busy listening to compliments from everyone that he didn't notice the pasta pot was bubbling and boiling until a sister from the convent said, oh, Big Anthony, look! And pasta was pouring out of the pot all over the floor of Strega Nona's house and was coming out the door. Look, there it is. Big Anthony rushed in and shouted the magic words again, but the pot kept bubbling. He took the pot off the floor, but the pasta kept pouring out. Uh-oh. Big Anthony grabbed a cover and put it on the pot and sat on it. But the pasta raised the cover, and Big Anthony as well, and spilled them both, all on the floor of Strega Nona's house. Stop! Yelled Big Anthony, but the pasta did not stop, and if someone hadn't grabbed poor Big Anthony, the pasta would have covered him up. The pasta had all but filled the little house. Out of the windows and through the doors came the pasta, and the pot kept right on bubbling. The townspeople began to worry. Do something, Big Anthony, they shouted. Big Anthony sang the magic song again, but without the 3 kisses, it didn't do any good. By this time, the pasta was on its way down the road, and all the people were running to keep ahead. Can you imagine driving into town and seeing pasta filling the streets of Middletown? How crazy would that be? I don't know if we'd all get spoons and forks or not. We must protect our town from the pasta, shouted the mayor. Get mattresses, tables, doors, anything to barricade. But even that didn't work. The pasta kept bubbling and bubbling and bubbling, and it just kept filling the street. Here it comes. There's a big slide of pasta coming. We are lost, said the people, and the priests and the sisters of the convent began praying. The pasta will cover our town, they cried. And it certainly would have, had Strega Nona not come down the road home from her visit. She didn't have to look twice to know exactly what had happened. Look, see, the pasta is filling the town. Anthony looks so worried. And here's Strega Nona. She knows what's going on. She sang the magic song and blew those 3 kisses, and with a sputter, the pot stopped boiling and the pasta came to a halt. Oh, grazie, they said. Thank you, Strega Nona, the people cried. But then they all turned on poor Big Anthony. String him up, the townmen shouted. Now wait, said Strega Nona. The punishment must fit the crime. And she took a fork from the lady standing nearby and held it out to Big Anthony. All right, Anthony, you wanted pasta from my magic pot, Strega Nona said, and I want to sleep in my little bed tonight. So start eating. And she handed him the fork. That's a lot of pasta to eat. And he did. Big, poor Anthony. Look at his belly getting bigger. He looks like he's got a baby in there. The end. So again, that was Strega Nona by Tommy DePaulo. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay safe, everybody.